So greetings to everybody from Pakistan. I'm Asma Akbar Ali, and as she explained already, an education health counselor, by profession and occupation as well, and just by my heart also. I'm also the founder of Society for Rehabilitation of Mentally Challenged Children, Education for All. Now, today I want to share my thoughts with you on feminist change makers and the adequate support that is required for the change makers to bring the required change. First and foremost, I feel it is important to tell you that my heart and emotions are with the crusade for inclusion, and it has been there for a long time. So I have a heart which is stuck somewhere in the mission, and it continues to be there and continues to hurt me. So I like to be with people like you who help me see that there is positivity. So I want to also start with my confession that this wisdom of inclusion has come to me after many years of being in the field and working with the disabled and differently able children. That there is difference between mainstreaming and inclusion. Mainstreaming involves including everyone, regardless of gender or ability, but inclusion goes beyond that. It is creating an environment that accepts the diversity as a part of the whole. So it is not only about mainstream. It is not only, okay, you can be part of us and be part of this, and we will involve you in this and that. No. Who are you to involve this or that? We are all together in this world, and this whole world is ours, is what inclusion talks about. So it is beyond mainstreaming. It is not just about permitting others to be involved in our life, but it is about recognizing that they are not separate from us. It's no you and me. We are all us. So, and if we want to bring change and we want to bring positivity into this world, then we probably have to recognize the uniqueness and the usness of us. And it is great that in 2024, we are all coming together to focus on inclusivity and building a more accepting and diverse community. We have come to understand that the feminist movement is not just being acknowledged and included in policies and programs or receiving equal treatment. Everybody, equality, equality. But it's not only about that, it is also about acceptance of diversity in abilities. We are different in abilities, women are different in abilities. They are diverse and recognizes, and so are many others in many other ways. And recognizing everyone's right to a fulfilling life. So you may be different, but you are still human, and that gives you a right to life, to a happy life, to a fulfilling life. It is to recognize that not to allow discrimination. We are all here today for inclusivity, and so we do not allow discrimination or of diverse humans. There could be they could be different in shape, size, color, age, abilities, whatever. But we are all together and we are all humans, and we cannot discriminate each other by saying this one is superior to others. There is none. It is our basic understanding that we were meant to be diverse, which is why no two humans are same, but that all of us are uniquely different. So that was the law of nature, that we are all different, and then we should be understanding that that is what brings the world to be. The feminist movement and the transition of demanding more than just an equal share or equality to more equity is not going to be easily accepted and adopted. And therefore, the change makers and advocates in this movement should not be left alone to voice the issue on large forums, because this change has to come from within the divides. So we must address, as somebody else also spoke, on the small grassroots level communities and within the divides. The voice should come from the diverse groups. It should not just be some people voicing it who are belonging to an equal class. The support has to rise from the small grass level community voices, and they should be befitting the diverse cultures and fall within the norms and values of humanity is a basic principle. Humanity is the basic principle. The cultures and norms of different societies are there. They are good and bad, but we have to choose the good and promote that, and put our struggle for equity within it. So it is inclusion, takes into account the various dimensions of diversity. And so infrastructures and social values should be evident and in its services sectors. Like if you go in education, it should not be that, okay, for disabled, there is a different education system or a different school which is 520 miles away from this school, or that in this health sector you have to be differently treated if you are not if you are not of a different you are of a different color or gender or age or whatever. So even the leisure, there are classes where which side of the beach you can use and which side of the beach you cannot use, and all this kind of differences in the services also have to be taken into consideration when we talk about inclusion. Not all change makers come from the same cultural background. So it's important to overcome cultural barriers and promote acceptance of diverse social practices in order to achieve true inclusion. Now, there need to be somebody who has to come to a common agreement on what we will be, what are the strategies that will be applicable in one area and what will not be applicable in another area, because we are full of differences, and within these differences we have to find our common areas. So feminist activists have been fighting against systematic barriers that promote discrimination, but their efforts are hindered by limited access to networks and societal resistance. If you are a lone person alone, or if there is somebody with a with a desire to participate and does not belong to any institution or does not belong to anybody, is just a nobody, and wants to donate or be part, donate the services of wisdom and want to be part of this momentum or of these networks or of these movements, it is very difficult for them to assess them. So there should be a channel where everybody should be able to talk to anybody or be able to communicate or somehow link with other organizations who are doing wonderful work, but somehow they are so far away from where we are or where the local communities are. So if they need channels and steps, people are requiring channels and steps to voice their problems or their differences or their discrimination and their desire to want to belong and to want to be part of the whole social structure. But then sometimes some people are lucky, they find the steps. Some people just stay in the rooms and pray that maybe one day I will be part of it. So this is reality. We need to connect with the local community at the grassroots level and talk their language their way. They need to be taking the lead. Therefore, there are 4 approaches that I want to recommend. One is inclusive financial support and government programming for inclusion. It should not be something where fundraising becomes an issue, and it should just be a program for all governments. All countries need to just put a percentage of the finance into working towards inclusion, and it should not be a matter of some NGO or some other organizations. Why must be a struggle? It should be a matter of policy and it should be included. So that's one thing. Another is to enhance the skills and provide mentorship, training, and updated research and advocacy progress for feminist change makers at all levels. There are people at all levels working, but there is limited reporting, interaction, communication, a common ground where they can come and share their experiences and learn from each other. Plus, those experiences need to be recorded somewhere so that there is no duplication of the same experiences if negative. Positive, of course, we want them to be duplicated and enforced, but then there may be other which are experiences for learning, and that should be recorded, and there should be timely meetings like what we are having today. I so appreciate the forum, and I so appreciate the way you're bringing people from everywhere together to share each other and know each other and understand how we are equal and how we are different. And it is so important to have this kind of forums, and it's easy to have this even in schools, in colleges, in playground, play homes, in gyms, wherever. It's easy to have them and should be happening more often in the new world. So a more open collaboration network will be, who are the change makers. We need to know who are the change makers. They should be easily available, and we should be able to provide feedback to them. And then there are age groups who are disabled, or because of age or because of illness. There are children who are counted as not present. They remain marginalized. Within the campaign and efforts of inclusion, they need to be highlighted. They remain marginalized. So there are specific groups who are doubly marginalized, and they need to be brought up, and they need to be mentioned again and again, so that we become the voices that they are not. Let the voices of the differences be heard more on the common forums through diverse forms and presentations. So it is not only some people who are not, marginalized, but they should be these people coming on the different forums and presenting themselves and helping us to help them. So that is important. And so, in the end, to wrap up, I would like to say that the feminist change makers should be an integral part of all movements. There is no specific movement of only women empowerment, but it's a movement of justice, equality, equity, and it is not a standalone fight, because for me, it is all about humanity. And just a fight, it is not a fight of feminism. It is a fight of humanity. It is about inclusion, and therefore let us all come together to aspire inclusion, since now we know that diversity is strength and not a divide. Thank you.